Hello and welcome to At the Picnics number 18. And if you're having a look at the screen, have a look at the good-looking rooster we've got this week, Danny. We've got the legend himself, Reece Goodwin, and we'll get to Reece shortly. We've just got a bit to talk about. Danny, last week at Hillsville, something amazing happened. We had two dead heats on the one day.
Actually, we had three, two for first and one for fourth. So
one for fourth. And big congratulations to you and your good friend Mel McDonald, who crossed the line together and dead heated the Hillsville Cup. And it was absolutely fantastic. I couldn't afford of anything better for the day. And I captured a really lovely photo of you too, which has been put on the Picnic Bet Facebook site. And so congratulations to you, Danny. You actually rode a double. So well done to you. And in the cup, of course, you rode Gwenny Begg and Mel McDonald rode See It All. You look like you were home too, Danny. You kicked about 2 or 3 clear, and then Mel come right down the outside and hit the line together.
He's got a massive finish on him, that horse. Gwenny did. She kicked really good, but then she got halfway up the straight and started to look for her friends. So anyway, look, we dead heated, and it was a great result. Lee Taylor kicked home a treble, so he had a ripping day out.
He did, and he won the Golden Thong on Dreambound, so congratulations to Lee.
Yep, and we had a little bit of an issue, so we're wishing Grant Seckham and Caitlin King all the best. Grant will not probably be back before the Corinthian. I think he'll be out for the season, but fortunately he's able to go away for his Fiji holiday, much to the relief of the kids.
Yes.
And Caitlin has evidently broken her finger. So
badly broken finger. I've actually seen a picture of it. It's a horrible break. So good luck to them both. And
that's why her hands are so sore.
Yes, speedy recovery to both of them. So we'll talk about the Jockey Premiership first. Sean Cooper, of course, is pretty well home and hosed now on 26. Mel McDonald's on 14, and now Lee Taylor with his treble has gone to 13, and Grant Seckham's on 13. So of course Grant's out of the equation now. So big finish for Mel and Lee with 3 meetings left. Who can get second spot?
Absolutely, it's going to go right down to the wire by the look of it. And the Trainers Premiership sort of looking a little bit the same.
Yep.
So it'll be a great finish for the year.
Troy's on 14. Troy Kilgour, Don Dwyer's on 10. Horse of the year is very, very close too, Danny. We've got Rue Lepic on 5 wins, Hayrick Lane on 5 wins, and we're going to speak to Reece about Hayrick Lane shortly. Steady Jam on 4. But the thing is, Rue Lepic's got quite a few seconds. So even his Steady Jam and Main Beaches on 4 can sneak a win. They're still a bit behind on the seconds from Rue Lepic. So
and Rue Lepic, I think, goes around this weekend. Is Jam going around this weekend, I think?
In the same race again. So makes it very, very interesting.
Lane,
yes.
We'll find out from Reece in a minute.
We will.
Reece, when are you guys going around again?
Unfortunately, guys, she's going to miss. She actually went in for an operation today, so you won't see her for the rest of the season.
Oh, bugger. What
happened?
So I can't remember exactly what they call it, but just above her knee at the back, a bit of a spike come off. So there's a little bit of bone. It's not actually a chip. It's just at the back of her knee, and it's rubbing up against the fibers on her tendon. So originally we thought we might have had a bit of tendon trouble, but we've had it scanned and x-rayed, and it's actually just a little bit of bone that's poking out, and it's just rubbing up against her tendon. So it was a pretty simple procedure that was taking place today, and all reports are that she's well, but she was fairly sore. So unfortunately, that cut her short for the season.
What a bugger. She was going well for you too, Reece, and she had a couple of really good wins there too, mate. So unfortunate. So we wish her all the best, and she's back soon. So Reece, welcome to the show, mate. It's a pleasure having you on. You're a bit of a legend in picnic racing scenes, firstly as a jockey, and now you're going very well as a trainer, mate. My first question is, how many horses have you got in your stable at the moment?
Currently, mate, there's 20 boxes here, and they're full right to the brim. So there's 20 horses in work here at Pakenham, which is great. When I first started just over 12 months ago, I turned up here with 1 horse, and we've obviously expanded pretty quickly, which is great. So, it's been fun. It's been tough, but enjoying it so far.
Good on you, mate. And Danny said just before we started that your dad's come down to join you, mate. Is he come to help you, or has he come to keep an eye on you?
Probably a bit of both, I think. But originally when he came down, he had 4 or 5 horses, and he was fairly busy himself. So he wasn't really doing a lot for me, but he's slowly dropped the numbers down. He's only got 1 or 2, so he's doing a lot more work for me now. But yeah, he's another great pair of hands to have around. And as I said to Danny, you know, whenever I'm off to the races, I know I can leave him at home and things are going to run smoothly, and vice versa. If I want to send him off to the races, I know things are going to go well there too.
And cheap labour, mate. I'm sure you're not paying your dad.
Yeah, very cheap, very cheap.
You got away with that well, mate.
Not cash in hand, but I'm sure he gets sorted out otherwise.
No worries, mate. Now, I spoke to Danny earlier today, and I found out something about you I didn't know, that the lovely Maddie Morris is your partner, and me and Danny both agree that you're probably punching a bit above your weight there, mate.
I disagree, but anyway.
And
she's blessed
for you, mate.
Yeah, no, she's blessed to be with me, in my opinion. But no, look, yeah, we've been together close to 4 years now. It's been great.
Well, didn't know that,
we
mate.
met at the picnics,
Yep.
so yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good. She's great to me. She cooks dinner every night, so that's good.
Oh, mate, you're a very lucky man, and she's a personal trainer, mate. Does she try and keep you in line?
She tries hard, but unfortunately she fails. I'm not an easy cookie to get fit, particularly with all the wasting I'd been doing in previous years. I've certainly let myself go a little bit. So she tries to keep on to me as much as possible, and I think that's why she tries to cook dinner for me most nights, so that I am getting some type of healthy food into the system.
Fantastic, mate. Do you still do a bit of your own track riding at Pakenham, or you sort of more?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, no, I do a large majority of my track riding, and even more so now without Grant.
Now because Grant's out, you'd be doing a bit more as well.
So there was 3 of us. There was Dad, Grant, and myself, and we were sharing pretty nicely between the 3 of us. But certainly had to pick up the slack there, and we're doing sort of close to 10 every morning, obviously with 20 horses and work. So yeah, things have ramped up with Grant. Been missing this week. Yeah, I was at Healesville Saturday, and I left early, and then Maddie messaged me and said there was a fall, and I thought, oh God, don't say it's Grant. And sure enough, I didn't want it to be anyone, of course, but out of everyone, I knew if Grant had gone down, and it was something, it was obviously going to affect me. But it's one of those things you can't do anything about, and just hope to get him back as soon as possible.
Just
look at Lacey walk away as such, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If they were, they both come out of it pretty well considering.
Yeah, it looks pretty ugly.
Danny, I walked up to Reece on Saturday, and we'd seen each other around.
Realised how tall he was?
Yeah. And I formally introduced myself and asked him, on a future show, would love you to come on. And the lovely bloke here said, no worries, mate, anytime, you just let me know. So, good on you, Reece. We're honoured to have you on, mate, and making yourself available. Mate. So, good. Now, my first question I always ask is, how did you get involved in horse racing? But obviously it's because of your dad, but I'm sure there's a story behind it too, mate.
Yeah, so Mum and Dad, they met while they were working in racing, and when I was born, Dad was running a farm just out of Seymour and Avenel called Brackley Park, which was the Freeman's Boys pre-training farm. So I was just born straight into it there, and as the story is, I always tell everyone, the first horse I ever patted before I was 1 was Doremus, and the first horse I ever sat on before I was 1 was Scalacci. So I was surrounded by some pretty good horses early on. And unfortunately, I haven't had too much to do with horses of that caliber since.
That's a good starting point.
Trying
to live up to that.
Unfortunately, when you start right at the top, you can probably only go down from there. But hopefully we start dealing with some better horses like that.
Absolutely. So, Racey, you rode for a few seasons at the picnics and brought your good mate Toby Lake along as well. You guys had a pretty good rivalry there for a while, and you're also good mates with Ben Spall. So how do you guys go roping Benny into owning horses with you both? Sorting it out amongst yourselves.
Benny is an interesting one. He is a tough cookie to crack to get involved in a horse. It's hard to believe that I've been training over 12 months and I have not had him in a horse yet. People can't believe it, and I don't think I can either. He's very picky. He's not one just to jump in the horse just to win a race. He's very selective. He loves his country cups, and he's tough to twist his arm and get him involved. I don't think Toby's got him in one yet either. So, but that's still a work in progress. It's hard to believe 12 months on and still haven't been able to get him in one.
So he's definitely got a criteria he's looking for.
Yeah, and it's a crazy criteria. It almost has to be grey. It has to be a stayer. It has to be going for a certain race. It's almost like finding a unicorn.
Well, he's got one of them. He won the Echuca Cup last year, remember? So
Yeah, that's right. He was in the grey horse there with Nick Ryan when Toby was there. So that was what got sucked him in, just the horse being grey, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, we all love a grey horse, mate.
So your picnic career obviously marred a little bit with weight battles, and obviously you and your dad were a pretty formidable force round anywhere that you turned up. So what are some other highlights that you can share with us?
Yeah, look, one that really springs to mind, it was a Yay Cup that I won on Condoa. You know, Yay Cup sort of only 20 minutes, 25 minutes up the road from us. So we sort of called it the local track for us, picnic wise. And I did ride my first winner at Yay, so it always meant a little bit to me. And we won a Yay Cup there. And it actually knocked Toby off that day. So I give a pretty big salute that day. That was a good win. And then, you know, Dad and I were able to combine and win a number of cups, and we had doubles and trebles. But, you know, we were able to win the Corinthian there with Smash the Gong 1 year, which was good. You know, there's so many memories. I'm struggling to remember them all. But, yeah, we had great success wherever, as you said, Danny, wherever we sort of went, we were able to at least get one winner. But there was a couple of times there where we had doubles and trebles, and a couple of times I pulled the wrong rein and Toby got on the right horse. So, yeah, those years of riding were really good to me. And it's a shame I couldn't keep going on. If I've always said to everyone now, if I was light enough, I'd probably still been riding at the picnics, and who knows, not have been training. But yeah, great times, great memories, and yeah, it was so good to actually start thinking about what winners I did have, because there's so many of them and so many memories.
I must say, you pipped me at Yay, you little bastard.
Yeah, there was a few times there where you get right to the outside and get someone right on the line, they would never know you were coming.
Yep, you got me a couple of beauties. So going forward from now, you're at Pakenham, you've had your licence 12 months. What's your stable looking like?
Yeah, look, plenty of tried horses. That was what was going to get me on the scene straight away and prove what I was able to do with some horses that weren't going to take long to get back to the races. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to get some results there. But look, we've been out to the yearling sales this year, and there's 4 horses that we've brought, and I've been centre yearling as well. So yeah, you know, we've got to get some younger stock into the stable, something a little bit more untried that might be able to get past, you know, just racing at country level and find ourselves on the city scene more often, and obviously progress from there. You know, everyone wants to be training city winners and then progress from there and get some group winners. But, you know, it's a long process. You got to have plenty of support, and you got to, you know, stamp that you can train, obviously, and hopefully we're on the road to that.
It's very tedious with some of the youngsters because they can take a bit of time. What are some of the sires that you've looked at your sales and picked up with?
Yeah, look, I've got to sort of budget what I'm buying, so I'm not sort of buying flavour of the month stallions. We picked up a Passance de Lune filly from Tassie that's probably going to take a little bit of time being a Passance, but she was a nice filly. And then the ones from Melbourne, where I love this city, Royal Meeting and Reward for Effort. Reward for Effort's a very good bread and butter horse. He's got quite good stats. He's very underrated. I love this city, very much in the same boat. And then Royal Meeting's the first season sire. So who knows what's to come from him. He might be the boom sire come 12, 18 months. But yeah, we've got a nice little batch there, a little bit of everything, sprinters, stayers, horses that might run early, horses that might take a little bit of time. So hopefully there's something in there.
Is your Puissance grey?
No, it's not. No, so I couldn't get Benny in that one. She's a chestnut. So yeah, I wasn't able to get Benny into that one
the
either.
dreaded chestnut female. Look out.
Yeah, and she has shown some attitude already.
That's not a bad thing. You don't want them being too soft in a race.
True, correct.
You don't want them too smart. You don't want them too soft. Either they outsmart you or they're not tough enough. So
I agree.
So how many? Obviously, you got 20 horses in work. You're down a staff member. So how are you getting around that at the moment? Have you dragged Maddie in to write some work for you?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, Maddie's pretty busy herself, but Maddie and a friend of hers, Taya, they both ride for McHughlin, and they give me a chop out right at the end of the morning. They been getting a pair done, which has been huge because we've only just been scraping by. So if they weren't coming in, I'd probably not be getting 2 horses worked and have to rotate them each day. So yeah, it's been a little bit stressful and rushed this week. You know, having to start right at the start of the morning and go right through to the end, and then of course you've got races and whatnot involved. So yeah, we've got through, luckily. Because if I didn't, well, that's the great thing about Dad. If Dad wasn't here, I would have been terribly stuck, which is Grant and I. But yeah, we've been able to get through. But looking forward to getting him back at some stage too.
Hopefully, it won't take him too long. So where are you off to this week with running?
So I've
Fiji too, so you could be stuck for a little bit.
he might blend that in. I think he might go from a bit of soreness into the holiday, and then he certainly be right to go when he gets back from the holiday. That's for sure.
I'm talking the first week after the holiday. He's going to be pretty damn ginger.
Yeah. So runners this week. I've actually got a horse in tonight at Pakenham. So I'm actually still here at the stables. I'll have a shower here and head down tonight. He's in the last race. He's sort of a rough chance. He's a horse that's got plenty of ability, but he's an older horse that's had a couple of issues, and it's probably more in his mind than anything. And we've got a busy few days coming up. We've got heading to Benalla with one tomorrow, and then at this stage we've got 3 in tomorrow night at Cranbourne, and then there's 3 horses that have just headed off tonight to go to Adelaide, and they'll be running Saturday. So we've got a pretty busy few days coming up.
You have? Are you flying over to Adelaide?
Yeah, I'll try and head over there first thing Saturday morning. We'll get some work done, some track work done, and then I'll jump in the car, head down to the airport, and hopefully get over there in time for the first one.
So anyone looking for a job at the moment, hook Reece up. He's in need of some strappers and track work riders.
I think
Correct,
I've got someone for him.
You're not sending Chris out there. He will not get any work done. He will be more useless than an ashtray on a motorcycle.
You can tell him that when he comes on shortly.
I will, but Reece, you don't need to have any recommended staff from Paul. They're useless.
Right. No, I'll take your word for it, Danny.
Oh, thanks, Reece.
So how else does what's your taking? I'm asking for an opinion here. What's your taking on the hours and that sort of thing? Do you guys like the sort of early starts? Because in your situation at the moment, you can then get all your work done before you have to go to the races, or there's been a lot of debate with it at the moment.
Yeah, so for me, if track times are pushed back, I feel like it'll affect me significantly, because I do a lot of my transport work. I take horses to and from the paddock, and I've got to go to the races and things like that. So if I'm finishing at 10 or 11 o'clock and then having to go to the races, it just doesn't work out for me. So I'd rather start early, get things out of the way, and then I've got all day to do what I need to get done. That saves me costs, basically. And if it's saving me costs, it's then saving my owner's costs. So I feel it should just be open longer. And if people want to start later, go ahead. But don't take away what we've been doing for hundreds of years and starting at close to 4 o'clock.
Yeah, well said, mate.
Totally agree with you. So yeah. So what do you do with your horses that head over to Adelaide and that? What's their week look like heading over?
Yeah, so they're all actually, one of them's a first starter, so she hasn't been running, but the other 2 have been racing, so they've been pretty race fit. They've had a pretty quiet week. They had a little piece of work on Tuesday morning, and then they all went to the Water Walker here at Pakenham on Wednesday, which is great. Trot and canter this morning, very light trot and canter that was, and then they'll head over tonight. They'll get there in the morning. They'll just have a walk tomorrow morning, so a couple of hours after they've had some feed and a bit of a rest. They'll walk in the afternoon and to just chill out. They won't get ridden over there. They'll have a very easy time once they arrive. It's a big enough trip. Just hope they eat up, and hopefully they go into their races fit and well.
Oh, fingers crossed, and good luck for you.
Thank you.
So, how's your football team looking for the season? Paul will get a bit anxious if I don't get this one off the bat.
Terrible. I'm Western Bulldogs, so we're zipping too, and we're playing again tonight. So
you have to win tonight.
Thanks for that, Paul. I hadn't noticed.
Well, just on that, Reece, I actually played junior football with Luke Beveridge, and he was probably one of the shyest guys I ever knew. And he did said to me back then in under 15s and under 16s that he was going to be an AFL coach. I would have said, you're dreaming, mate. Like, the bloke doesn't even talk. But when he talks, mate, he's a very articulate fella, as you know. So
he is. Yeah, he is.
Good luck to you. We all love the doggies, mate. So good luck to you guys tonight.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
And our doctor for the VJA is Gary Zimmerman, and he's their doctor too. Yep. So we all like to keep a healthy watch out and cheer the Bulldogs a little bit for his sake as well.
Yep.
I've just got a quick question. Sorry, Danny. Reece, when you decided to, become a trainer, how much of a risk did you think was being involved here? You have to start organising stables, staff. The expenses are coming in before you're actually got horses on the track. How did you feel about that? And, did you have some sleepless nights?
Luckily, Paul, I'm a very good sleeper, and you can ask Maddie about that. She whinges about that a lot. But no sleepless nights. But look, it was a massive risk, no doubt about it. Creating a business on your own, particularly in this cutthroat industry, and we see a lot of younger people now just joining, already made businesses. There's Calvin McAvoy obviously following his dad, Michael Kent Jr. with Mick Kent. It's probably the smart way to go. But I wanted to, half prove a point and show what I was able to do and build my business from the bottom up. It's been going well so far. The hardest part for me was sort of the logistics side of it, money and having to deal with, tax and all that side of things. That just wasn't what I was sort of learnt at school or was very good at through life. So the training part was sort of the easy part. It was just having to run the business side of things. But I've got some good people around me that are helping me and making that a little bit easier.
Good on you, mate.
You've had
Great
a couple of
attitude.
winners at the pros now, which has been really good to see you kicking on, and you've had a couple of really consistent horses. Who's your favourite?
Who's my favourite? Unfortunately for me, I've gone through a lot of horses already because I've got tried horses and they reach their peak very quick here in Victoria. I do very much have a soft spot for my first winner, Titus. He was a lovely horse, lovely horse. When we got him, he was still a bull. And he probably didn't need to be gelded other than we just wanted to try something different because he wasn't racing at his best. He was a lovely, quiet horse. So he holds a soft spot. At the moment, favourite horse here, I tell you what, I don't treat them. I treat them all the same. So I couldn't say I really have a favourite. Never again. Obviously holds a close part to my career. Really, he was my first Saturday winner, and he was a horse that was well out of form when I got him, and we've been able to turn him around. And he won at Sandown on the Saturday, so he's probably one of my favourites. But they all get treated exactly the same here, so no favourites really.
No, you have to, but yeah, you've always got a soft spot for one or two. Let's be honest.
That's it.
You're not human otherwise.
No, that's right. That's right.
How have you found the difference training from Seymour to Pakenham?
Massive. I probably wouldn't have taken out my license if I was at Seymour. It's not a place I feel you can build and grow and bring clientele in. So that was obviously all taken into account. And I felt Pakenham was a place that was going to be really hitting its straps in 5 to 10 years, hopefully when I'm hitting my straps too. So we sort of plan for the future. We're very close to having a track, an uphill back track here at Pakenham that runs from the 2,000 metre chute, takes a little turn and runs all the way down the back. That's coming together really nicely. And then we're also going to have some trail tracks very much similar to Cranbourne. So this place is already great and got some great facilities, but it's also going to be taking it to the next level the next year or two.
It's interesting.
You guys have got pools and water spas and all water treadmills and stuff there as well, haven't you? Yeah,
so we're very lucky. Peter Hannon, he set up the water walker and the spa himself. It's not Pakenham Race Club, obviously. It's on the Pakenham race course, but he's built all that up himself and he's taken a punt himself, and he probably wasn't getting too well supported early on. But people are starting to cotton on, and the water walker is very well used now, and same as the ice bath. So yeah, we've got a few little different things here that we can use and try and keep the tried horses ticking over, and of course the young horses too. But all those tools are very well used for the tried horses.
It's interesting.
Have you ever had an ice bath yourself?
What's that? Sorry, Danny.
Have you ever had an ice bath yourself? I was never a fan. How do the horses go?
No, I can't have it. So the thing for the horses, it's more of a scare thing because the water comes up from the bottom. They start being very unsure about that, and then the next thing you know, there's some bubbles turned on. So for them, it's very much unusual for their first time, and they are heavily sedated to make sure nothing goes on because it is a confined space too. But they end up once they get through it the first time, they generally end up being really good about it.
Yep.
I've just got one last question. They call it Pakenham Racecourse, Reece, and a lot of people sort of not close to the industry sort of think, oh, it's in Pakenham. It's actually quite a fair way to Pakenham. It's actually in Tynong, I believe.
Yeah, it's 15 to 20 minutes.
Did they keep the Pakenham Racecourse because it used to be in Pakenham and they wanted to keep that same name when they rebuilt the new course?
Yeah, I think it's basically it's the exact same people. And it is still the Pakenham Racing Club that own it. It's just that they brought the land out here, and obviously through help through LVL. But yeah, I think just it's still the Pakenham Race Club and the Pakenham Racing people, and they've just brought the name across, albeit out here at Tynong.
Yep, good facilities too, mate, and it's always good to go watch races here as well if you're in the area.
Correct.
Go have a look, it's fan, and the night racing is brilliant, and really good.
So, Reece, for anyone out there that's interested in getting in touch with you, what's the best way they can go about it? Because Paul's going to yell at me because I'm going to go over time in a minute.
We've got 8.5
Straight to the
minutes
website.
left. Go to the website.
No, straight to the website, reecegoodwinracing.com.au. There's the website's very well set up, thanks to my great mate Benny Spall. He played a big part in that. It's very easy to navigate. And yeah, you can inquire on any horse on there that's for sale and get in touch with us.
You love plugging, Benny. You getting a bit of commission or something there, mate? Or?
Well, don't worry, Benny, I love giving him a good write-up too.
Yeah, Benny's very good to me. He does a lot of this work free of charge. So yeah, I have to give him a plug when I can. Keep him happy.
He's a good bloke. We had him on the show a couple of episodes ago, mate. Legend of a fella, mate. All the time in the world for him.
Certainly.
He was giving you and Tobes a very good plug. So yeah, you guys all grew up together and went to school together.
Yeah, that's it. You should ask him who his favourite one out of the two of us is.
Oh, I'll do that next time I see him. I'll probably see him at Balnarring.
I'd love to get an answer out of him.
All right, I'll let you know, mate. I'll ask him.
Might be like on the weekend, a couple of dead heats.
I love it.
All right, mate. We better let you go and get ready for the races. And look, good luck with all of your runners over the weekend. Hopefully, we'll be seeing your name up in lights over the results pages. And
no worries,
enjoy.
Guys.
Did you want to shoot him?
Thanks a lot for having me.
Do you want to shoot him a couple of quick questions, Danny? We've still got 7 minutes.
Oh,
come on, send him out. Okay. I've got time. Go for it.
You've got time. Go for it.
So, best couple, minusing Toby and Ben.
Oh, Maddie.
Oh, that's
brownie points there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done. So, seeing as though she's the cook, what's her best meal?
She loves a piece of salmon, asparagus, low carb potatoes. That's her go-to. She loves her salmon, and so do I.
Good. So, where's your favourite holiday destination?
Probably Singapore. I lived there for 6 months. Beautiful place, very expensive, but a lovely place to go for a holiday.
When you went,
what did you do over there?
Yeah.
So I thought we were just asking little questions.
Oh, I remember.
No, come on. I've got a bit of bomb up here and there.
Yeah, so I would have been 5-6 years ago now that I took time, 6 months over in Singapore with Lee Freeman, which was a amazing experience. I was sort of a leading track rider there, but also, dealt with the horses on race day. But yeah, great place, a very, very hot place, but very safe, very clean place. It's amazing place. If no one's been there, you got to go there. It's amazing.
I remember that, Reece, because I remember I interviewed you on local radio and you were just about to leave to go to Singapore.
That's correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember now that you say it. So beer, wine or spirits?
Cider.
Oh, okay.
That is my go-to. I do like a cider.
Yep, they go all right. Don't mind them either. Best horse ridden? Apart from
probably a horse called Mr. Clint. While I was in Singapore, he won the Derby over there while I was there. Zach Purton won on him. So the calibre of horse in Singapore is probably not as good as here. But he did win a Group 1. But probably here a horse maybe like Sapedo, sat on him a couple of times, didn't do a lot of work with him, but he was a pretty fast horse.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was, and it's now having a bit of a stamp in the sires ranks as well.
Yeah, he's flying at the moment.
So apart from the obvious Melbourne Cup, have you got anything else that you'd really love to win?
Probably Seymour Cup. Just love to go home, win the Seymour Cup. That's the one for me.
Yep. So have you got anything else that you'd be bringing back to Tormentors from Peter Moody's at the picnics?
No, not at the moment. No, I think you're scot-free at the moment. I'll let you off for the rest of the year.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Moods handballed him one to come and get a win at the races. So it had a win next to its name in the breeding barn. Because in the breeding barn, it was a winner. And
unfortunately, Danny, the mare was found passed away in the paddock a few weeks later at Rosemont. So it didn't end up as well as everyone would have liked. So Moods.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
that's crap.
No, it's shame for Moods because that was all he was sending her there for. And I said to a lot of people, if anyone else was asked by Peter Moody if he could take a horse to train for getting paid each day to take to the picnics to win, everyone else would have said yes too.
Absolutely, of course we would have. We're just jealous it's not us, mate. It is, let's be honest. Nah, good on you. It's been really good to see you kick off and go well, and it's really good to see you got a few nice horses coming into your hands and you're getting along all right. So, it's been really good to see. We like seeing all of our picnic mates get up and go well.
I sense a couple of big wins coming up for this young fella, Danny. I'm calling a group
Hopefully.
one. I'm calling a group one within 2 years. All right.
Bloody hell,
No
Paul.
pressure,
Yeah,
Reece.
that's a bit ambitious. Yeah, no pressure at all.
No, I back you, mate. Now,
When I get that group one winner, mate, I'll come back on the show. I won't forget you.
Mate, remember me. Get up when you do your interview and say, I remember. Now,
All right, you can rope Paul into his 2% shares.
yeah.
He goes good to know.
If it's a group one horse, I don't think I can afford it. Now, Reece, my first question is, Chris wants to know, where'd you get your curtains from? Same as ours.
Not a clue. Not a clue. Oh, are they? Oh, there you go. Yeah, we got something in common.
I'll give you a clue, mate. Spotlight.
These are just at the stables, so I don't know where they've come from.
There is a spotlight in Pakenham.
Righto.
Now, he heard earlier that you're looking for someone to come down and help you out, mate. Look, he'll do anything, mate. He'll shovel shit or he'll make up feeds or whatever, mate. But he can ride. He's done a bit of camel racing, mate. Is that good enough to help you out with track work?
Look, mate, I'm happy to have him come down and do anything as long as he gets rid of that hideous bloody scarf. That's ridiculous. Get rid of that.
Jeez, I don't know,
God
mate.
almighty.
Look, mate, just keep him away from Matty too, all right? He'll be snooping around, mate. Just
he looks like he knows what he's doing.
He does. No, good on you, mate.
Reece,
Thank you.
He's nothing more than a glorified council worker.
I'll have to get a high vis for him. I've got one actually.
I like that.
Good on you, Reece. You're a legend, mate. We appreciate you coming on the show. You've already started off fantastic in the training ranks, and as I said, I can see some big things coming for you, mate. You know what it's like. You get a couple of wins, and Simona's will bring a really good horse to you, mate, and it'll just snowball. So we wish you all the best.
No worries, mate. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on, guys. Have a good one.
A pleasure.
Thanks for joining us, mate. Take care. Good luck for the weekend, and I hope everyone goes well for you, mate.
Too easy. Thank you.
Good luck to everybody at Willamai this weekend. You've got a couple in, Danny, so good luck to you.
Yep. Thanks to Picnic Bet too, before you forget again. I know.
Of course. Well, I know I forget, but I've got the sign, and thanks to Fran, she's a legend. She always looks after us and gives me all the information. So good on her. She's still up in North Queensland and loving life. So they'll be back soon. So all right.
Yeah,
goodbye, everyone.
17 and raining, so I hope she's nice and warm.
Well, she'll be watching. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
See you
Thanks,
later.
guys. See ya.
See ya.
Good luck for the weekend.